And welcome to another show of Don't Get This Twisted. I am Rob, along with my always co-host Tina. Tina, how are you today?
I'm good, Rob. A little bit tired, but I'm here and excited to be on the show.
Awesome.
We're going to talk about aliens and UFOs today, which is something I never talk about. And I was thinking that we should talk about it before, but that's why I was kind of quiet. I didn't want to do it.
Well, you know, it's funny because I know it's on our list.
Yeah.
I know it is for sure because I remember writing it down in our projects.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, it would be cool because I think, look, there's so many things that you can talk about. And mostly now that the government is putting out footage of UFOs or
are they?
Yeah, they've been. Now, here's the thing. The stuff that I've seen, it's usually from a jet, like a fighter jet.
Okay.
But it's still not conclusive that it's like an alien. It's an object out there. So who really knows? I'm a skeptic. I'm not like, I need to see shit to believe in it. Like I'm not a huge, supporter of that because 9 times out of 10, the people who've seen UFOs are like, I hate to say it, but they're like in the fucking cornfields of Iowa or in Kentucky somewhere in some backwood. You'd think, I lived in Vegas for 2 years. You've been to Vegas a couple of times, I'm assuming.
Yeah, just a couple.
Yeah. You know the big pyramid, right? That shoots the light up into space. Like you'd think they'd go there. You know what I mean?
You think so?
Yeah. You'd think that they'd go to like this big fucking marker that's like, hey, and if you believe in, the ancient stuff, they probably built the other pyramids anyway.
It's funny that you're saying this because I've actually seen 2 UFOs.
See, and again, I think that that's all right. But
I'm not a corn picker in Iowa.
No, I know people who have said that they've seen UFOs. I just haven't.
Yeah.
So I will tell you that I don't believe in them.
And I get that because I don't think I did until I saw it. And even though I've seen it, I still question what it was. And there was 2 times that it happened.
Okay.
And like the first time, do you remember back when I was working at Bank of America? It had to have been like...
No, that must have been
92?
in the early 90s. Okay, yeah. I was going to say early 90s.
I used to carpool with these 2 guys that worked with us, and we worked the shift like from 3 to 11. And
yeah, the closing shift.
Yeah. Well, it was,
oh no,
we were a processing center, 3 to 11 p.m.
Swing shift, I think is what they call that.
Yeah, it's been so long since I worked there, I forgot what it was called.
I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
We all lived close by, so we would carpool. And we're driving northbound on the 405 freeway, coming home. And right at about Nordoff, we see the shape come out of the trees, basically. And it came up like it was levitating. It came like straight up. And it looked like it was spinning. And it made this loop and then took off past us. And when all 3 of us turned around. I was driving, but all 3 of us turned around to see what it was. It was gone. And I looked in the car next to me, and they looked just as baffled as we were. It was gone. It would happen. And it was funny because the guys are like, we're not talking about this, Tina. We're not going to say we saw it. When we go to work tomorrow, it's not going to be a topic of conversation. And they refused. You know me, I'll talk about everything. So I was trying to get them to say something. And they were like, yeah, no, we're not going to talk about that. I'm like, you dicks, come on. They didn't.
That's wild. Why not?
I think because it freaked them out, to be honest. Like we couldn't even put into words what we saw. And the shape of the thing changed And it also got a lot bigger. So it came up and then it was like expanded as it came towards us, but then it was gone as soon as it passed us. Didn't make sense.
Yeah,
And
I mean, it's a little bizarre, but
you know me, I'm not one to like play into any of this. I don't like the dramatics. I mean, I'm just telling you what happened. Like I'm not one of those that make up things just for the story, because I do stupid shit all the time that I could talk about. So when I tell people, I'm like, I'm not that crazy person, which is also why I didn't want to talk about this, because I kind of am that crazy person. But I'm not really.
Okay, so like here's my thing with UFOs, and it's kind of like the same with ghosts. I have a friend who I want to bring on the show at some point. He's a ghost hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Goes all over, has little machines and shit that they try to find levels of ghost activity or energy. I haven't seen a ghost, so don't believe in them. That's just me. That's, again, skeptic. Got to see it to believe it. The thing with UFOs, mostly because of the military and how many things they test, that's where my things lie. Because even like military fighter planes that aren't in the loop of knowing that they're testing things wouldn't know as well.
Right.
I haven't seen it, but I don't go to people and go, oh, you're crazy. It's like, no, I don't think that that's true. I just haven't seen it. Now, do you think that there's little aliens in these things? Like, what do you think on that side? Because I think that's the bigger question to me. Like, what's in it? Like,
okay, so
aliens?
We can't possibly be the only living life in the solar system. Like, you know what I mean? There's got to be something else.
But you think it's intelligent life? You think it's like that? Like they're in spaceships?
I don't know. See, that's where I don't know. Like, that's where I don't know I haven't seen it just like you. So I don't know if I believe in that. I know that there's got to be something else, that we can't be the only life in the whole solar system. Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
I totally agree with you. There has to be life in the universe. The universe is too vast for there not to be. And I think I'm more on the side of like there's life. Not maybe what we are, but I mean there's probably organisms that are alive on planets. They think,
that are more advanced than us or less advanced? Because
I would say
organisms, which
I mean organisms like the bottom of the ocean organisms, like things that are dumb as bricks that are just alive, like things that are in water that you can't see because they're microorganisms. I think that there's that. Do I believe that there could be another planet that orbits a sun that is just the perfect thing that like this planet is? Yes. I could totally believe that. Do I think that they're little green aliens? No, I don't think so. I think that they would be somewhere in the same, thing as us, where, a single cell organism grew and maybe they're more monkey-like or something to that nature. But who knows? Maybe they're little green people, and maybe I'm the one who's crazy to think that they're not real.
Yeah.
I just think that if there was something that was so intelligent, they would have already made contact with us.
Don't you think they have, though? If with all the sightings all over the world, different religions, different nationalities, different everything, and every country has said there's been something.
Yeah, I mean, there is the one thing. Have you ever seen the Ancient Aliens?
No, I don't watch any of that stuff.
So that one's a little interesting because there's a lot of things where they'll look at pyramids and sculptings on walls or paintings on walls that are, I mean, quite a bit bizarre. Like Anubis, if you've ever seen Anubis in Egyptian folklore, you know, he's like half dog, half human. You know, it's easy to see that maybe they were seeing something that was here before and maybe it died out, and we are the remnants of this civilization. But then if you believe that, you can't believe the Bible.
Yeah. You know, when you and I've talked over the years, we come from very different places on these things. I forgot about that because we lately have been agreeing on pretty much everything. But yeah, you do ride that wave, don't you? I forgot about that. I never would have thought that how you describe it, I guess. It just didn't come to mind that way.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm like, not that I don't believe there's something. I have to see things in front of me. I'm very skeptical about, you know, there being aliens or ghosts but then you can say the same thing that's crazy where people go, well, what about things that are at the bottom of the ocean that we find after 1,000 years that have been there forever? Yeah, you're right. Like you don't know what's out there. I'm just one to say that I haven't seen it, but look how many instances of people seeing it. I think the thing that gets me now is the modern age, though. We all have cell phones. Like, the footage would be way better. We should be able to get crystal clear 4K footage of a UFO in the sky if they're visiting like they say they are.
You know, it's funny. I never thought to pick up a phone. Well, back in 92, there was not phones.
There was
even
none.
The most recent time that it's happened to me, it never occurred to me to pick up my phone and take a picture or record it. Or it was more like, what the hell am I seeing right now?
And I think that would be 99% of us. That you're more like, what the fuck is in the air? You're not grabbing your phone to prove it. You're more going, hey, and look, the speed, even the things that I've seen the governments put out, the speed of these objects is definitely fast and does things that outmaneuver jets. So either we have crazy technology or there is something out there. I'm just, like I said, I'm until I see it land in LA, I'm going to be a skeptic of it. But not to say that there's not.
You should be a skeptic. You shouldn't believe anything without doing your own research or without your own proof.
I think now too, like video evidence these days don't mean shit because people do special effects that look better than real life. And you can do that on a Mac at home. Like regular people can do it. So it's a weird thing. Like look at Jurassic Park. The first Jurassic Park still holds up pretty well. That you would question if those dinosaurs are real or not. Now you see the newer stuff and it's out of control. It looks real. So that's the hard part. Excuse me. That's the hard part for me is what do you believe and what you don't? So in your case, though, I would say yes, because your first-hand experience is always going to trump a video. Because the video can be manipulated, changed, colored, added stuff to it. Who knows? What you've seen is what you get.
Yep.
So that's where, and again, I would go the same with ghost stories or people who've like, I've experienced a ghost and I know several people who have. I just haven't. Or maybe I just look past it because I'm not looking for that. Maybe it's something that you have to look for or have to be able to see. I don't know. But I'm definitely like you. I believe there's life out there. There has to be. We can't be the center of the universe. There's no way.
No.
There's this. It's so vast. I mean, and this solar system, just the solar system, is a fucking speck. We're like, we're nothing. There's a if you haven't, and I'll send it to you and the listeners out there. Oh, excuse me. So sorry.
You yawning?
Yeah, it's been a day again. There's it's called the Pale Blue Dot. I gotta see who wrote it though. It's a great it's a book. But it was also part of a Carl Sagan is the guy who wrote the book, and he also was on a show.
And you said the book was Pale Blue Dot?
Yeah, the Pale Blue Dot.
Okay.
And Carl Sagan he's a scientist. He was an astronomer, planetary scientist, astrophysicist, astrobiologist. Fucking smart is what he was. Insanely smart. And he was on a TV show in the 70s called Cosmos. It was a big time show. A guy named Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's also an astrophysicist, ended up doing it, I think, in like 2017. They did a remake of it. But Carl Sagan was part of the NASA that put the Hubble telescope into orbit.
Okay.
And it was I want to say right before Pluto, so just past Uranus. I got that one in. He told NASA, turn the Hubble around because this is the last time you're ever going to be able to take a picture of Earth. Okay. So if you look it up somewhere, you'll look up the Pale Blue Dot, and he has a picture, the real one, of what Hubble took. And they had to put an arrow to where Earth was.
Yeah.
Because it was literally, it was like a pen dot. Just bink. And he wrote this really brilliant thing, part of his book, but it's this message in the Pale Blue Dot. And it's him kind of talking about like Earth and what it means. And if you haven't heard it, I would tell every listener to go to YouTube and just put in the Pale Blue Dot. I want to say it's like 6 minutes long or 5 minutes long. And it's just him talking about everything that's happened on this planet. And it's brilliant because he's like, this Pale Blue Dot, every murder that's ever existed is on this dot.
Oh, that's a trip.
And every brilliant person that's ever existed is on this dot. And every good person and bad person. And he goes through this whole long list of this tiny little thing in space is what we are. Because to the universe, we are nothing. We're just tiny. But he makes the Earth both this little tiny pale blue dot and this brilliant ball that's floating around the sun. So if you haven't heard it, it's great. But when I heard him talk about this, it made me think like we can't be the only ones. There's just no way. There's got to be something else out there that is definitely smart or like us or in the form of us, some kind of carbon-based person, alien, whatever you want to call them. But I do believe that there's something out there. Not in this solar system. We've been, we've flown past almost everything. in this solar system. But this galaxy is massive.
Mm-hmm.
And then think that this galaxy is just part of many galaxies that make up the universe.
Right.
It's too vast. I'm never going to say or be the one that says there's no way anything else exists. There's no way.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I've been watching The Simpsons for years. Not my choice, but my ex really liked it. And so we would watch it together. And there's one episode of The Simpsons, and it shows how one speck of something turned into the whole universe through different like changes it made and morphed and stuff. And it went on for quite a while, but that's always what I think of when I think of the solar system and the universe, or like the universe, everything that exists. You know what I mean? Like all of it. It always goes back to that one Simpsons episode where it's just this little speck that turns into this huge thing that goes back to, I think it always ends up with Homer. I've seen it a couple times.
Yeah, I'm sure. Everything ends up with Homer.
Yeah.
That would make sense. But I mean, we're okay. So the planets are carbon. The stars are carbon, and we are carbon. So we're all carbon based.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense to think that, without getting too, hardcore into religion and not religion, the Big Bang makes sense because we're all made of the same shit. We're all carbon based. Now, you can also argue that God is a carbon based product as well. So
Product
of the stars, right? If you think of it that way, if you believe in a supreme being, whether it's the biblical one or a regular supreme being, you would think that, yes, they are one with the stars. So they're a carbon based person, thing, however you want to go down that road.
Never thought of it that way either.
So
not even at all.
You got to look at it from both sides. You have to look at it from that heavily religious side that will tell you God made people, God made the universe, the planets, we're the only ones. That's it. No aliens, no nothing. Just us in his, we're supposed to look just like him, and that's it. That's all he made. Now, you can argue that, maybe on day 10 after his rest, he made the rest of the life forms. Who knows? Or maybe he just continued to make. You know what I mean? Like maybe he never stopped making. I don't know. I can't get too deep into the religious part of it, but
you got deeper than I think I've ever gone, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here listening to you going, just keep going, because I never thought of this.
Yeah.
But I don't question things. I don't believe the way that most people do.
Yeah, I think that, look,
Faith,
without getting I don't want to get too deep into the religious part, because I think that there's a lot of arguments on both of those sides. People have seen something in the air. Several people, not two, thousands of people. So, I would argue that some might be looking for it. Again, you live in Corntown in Iowa, and you're out in the middle of a cornfield with 40 of your best buddies drinking beer all night and whatever other illicit narcotics you might be on. You might see shit in the air. Don't know. But of those 40 people, there's probably got to be some sober people there that saw something too.
Yeah.
So
I could tell
who
you
knows?
I was definitely sober when I saw it. For sure.
Well, that's good because you were driving.
Yeah.
Because we don't want anything bad happening to you.
No. And you have to be responsible.
You do. So what do you, besides your own experience is. What do you think is out there? Do you think it's like super duper life, like intelligent?
Well, I don't really think about it like that. For me, it's like, do I really want to think about this? Because I would start to freak myself out. So I just tend to not think about things that freak me out. For instance, with the serial killer thing, same thing. I just don't think about it. You know what I mean? It's not.
So it doesn't exist.
Right. Well, no, it's just I have to live in my head. So
yeah,
if I had to think about it, I would say that there's superior life to our life out there somewhere. Absolutely. Would that be the only thing, or would there be as minimal as what you say that's in the bottom of the ocean? I'm sure there's that too. I think that there's different levels going on different levels all the way to whatever exists in the end.
Right. I mean, like I said, I think if we're talking the simplest form of what we call life, that's for sure out there. There has to be a 99.8% chance that there's a living organism somewhere in the universe. The odds are definitely for that.
I would hope so.
And I would guess, and without, I don't think there's many websites that are going to have the real statistics, but I'm sure it's very high that there's another living being similar to us out there. Just on odds alone. I mean, there's how many billion people on this planet?
I have no idea.
Lots.
Yeah.
I think it's like 7 billion people or something like that. So, yeah, I think there's something out there. Do I think they're visiting? Don't know. I wouldn't be shocked. But if they're coming here, they have to think we're the most unintelligent, Neanderthals ever. Because we're still doing things that we did.
Why not when we're living here thinking the same thing?
Well, yes. But could you imagine being a much higher life form?
Yeah, but know what? It's kind of like us watching reality TV. It's still maybe they're just entertained by the dumb shit that we're all doing, because does even half of it make sense? I wonder.
We're just one really bad
reality show.
Oh God, could you imagine?
It could be that way. They
turn the channel on. They're like, "Hey, we're watching Earth." Watch these people kill each other. Well, just on a low level. You're right. We're probably the lower level of existence, if there is one in the universe, because we're still doing shit to each other that we did, 2, 3, 4,000 years ago. And this planet's old. Yeah. But I mean, what we think is regular man, like even Neanderthal man, is still just thousands of years. It's not millions of years. Like the dinosaurs were like 34 million years ago. That's crazy talk.
You can't planet's even been here. Fathom how long ago that was. You just can't even.
No. Well,
there's no way.
If you believe in carbon dating, which is how they generally date things, right? How science has come up with where they find a bone, they carbon date it. They say based on these parameters, it's this old. Mm-hmm. This planet's billions of years old. Mm-hmm. Billions. I mean, there's been, I think I was watching Cosmos. Funny thing is, I think there's been 5 major extinctions in this planet's history. So like everything gone, no life on this planet, and it came back. And then another time, boom, fucking gone.
No life
came back.
Or
not
zero all
life.
Not zero life goes every extinction, right?
Well, with almost no life.
Okay.
Like Nothing, no top animals.
Gotcha.
Anything that lived was in the ocean. There were microorganisms that ended up becoming something else. And at some point, you know, this Neanderthal monkey survived, and there hasn't been a major extinction since then. But you have to start thinking on the grounds that, you know, Mother Nature will get rid of us. So if it's not the aliens, something else is going to get rid of this organism. We're going to go away at some point. It's only the ego of man who thinks we're not. You know,
I hope I'm not around to see that.
No, I don't think so. And I mean like an earth shattering, like no more man, zero. No, I mean, I'm talking end of the world, end of every single thing that lives on top of the planet gone. So, and it's going to happen. It could be another 3 million years. Don't know. You know, if you believe in like the dinosaur theory, right? Big fucking asteroid hit the planet, killed everything.
Mm-hmm.
If that would ever happen again, this planet is done. Boop, donezo. Something
the planet
hits
itself or everything on it?
Everything on it. So if something hit the planet that was that big, it would drown everything. The water levels would be 80, 200, 300, 400 feet high. We'd all be gone. It wouldn't even take. It would take a matter of moments for it to happen. But, you know, we can also see out into space now and know when things are coming. And if we think we can, you know, fix it or shoot it with something, you know, we'll try to do that. But, you know, pandemics, look how many pandemics there have been. Still, man, we're resilient. It kills a lot of people, but we're resilient. So the only thing with aliens or UFOs, have you ever seen the Twilight Zone called To Serve Man?
I don't know.
It's one where the aliens come here and they have a book, and it has a language on the front of it. And of course, we tried to decipher the language, and the book ends up saying to serve man. And they were like, oh man, to serve man. And they're like, hey, on our planet, we're going to take you to our planet. And it's great. But on this planet, they end up like fixing everything. There's no more war. Everyone has food. No one's in poverty. It's all these things. And once they got the title, of course, they continued to try to decipher the book, but they were like, these guys are here to fucking save us. This is awesome. Like, well, they find out that To Serve Man's a cookbook, and they're taking all the people to their planet to eat them.
Yeah, I did. I've seen that.
So to me, like, those are like the funny things. You'd think like if there is aliens out there, that's the kind of shit that's going to happen. Cause we're going to be like, hey, we got to trust them. They're fixing everything. Everyone's happy. Everyone's got food in their belly. No one, everything would be great. Either that, or it's going to be like Independence Day and they're just going to start blowing shit up, and we're going to have to fight them. That's how I see it. It's a two-way street. They're either going to try to fix everything, or they're going to just blow shit up, and they're going to take our resources for whatever their planet needs. Does that make sense?
Like that movie that Mel Gibson did, where they made those big things in the ground, and what was the name of the movie? Signs?
So Signs was great.
That was such a stupid movie.
Oh, okay, you should watch it again.
Why would aliens come and try to take over a world, a planet where it's mostly made of water that kills them? It could kill them.
Well, because
it doesn't make sense.
Because you have to look at what's on the part that's not water. Resources. You would have to think we would do the same shit. Trust me. If we went to a planet that was mostly lava, but some of the land masses had shit like oil that we needed, we'd do the same shit. We're dumb. We would do the same shit that we'd be like, hey, but we can get all this shit off there. And if we lose a couple people into the lava, we just lose the people in the lava. We'll be all right.
dumb freaking movie.
Yeah. But I mean, look, we always make the aliens out to be the bad guys. If there are aliens and they're really smart, they must think that we think they're stupid because we always make the movies and we're always the good guys. With the exception of maybe Star Wars.
Well, that's the same thing in our history books, though. Depending on what country you're from is the slant of the war, the side of the war that you were on. Same thing.
Like, what did we talk about before? The winners are who write the book. It's always about that. The losers, I guarantee learning World War II in Germany is a very short chapter.
I would hope so.
They're like, we killed a bunch of people and lost. And let's go to the next thing, 1960. Like, they probably go, they skate over that shit really quick. You know, and in our books, we're like, we were the heroes. We saved them. We, you know, they did this, they did that. We're the heroes. It would be the same thing. I'm sure. Look, you know, if the alien thing is a weird thing. I mean, to me, I look at both sides because I try to see that there's just been so many people who've seen things. It's just hard to think that they're all bananas. You know what I mean? Like they just couldn't all be bananas.
No.
But then I also look at the reality of the government testing shit, like Area 51.
There could be a lot of that going on too.
Mostly in Nevada, where like, you know, I don't know. I think that there's so much desert out there. It's really easy to be able to test special shit without people seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
But if there are aliens, where would you keep them? Same place. If a ship crashed and you have things, you're definitely going to have it out in the boonies where no one can see it. Now, Area 51 is a weird thing. I do kind of look at that in a very bizarre way of thinking, what are we locking up out there? It's got to be some weird shit, something. You never know. But, you know, I'll go with you. I think that, look, there's definitely life out there. There's definitely something flying around that our own military people have seen. And over the last year, they've actually put footage out. You can find it, and they continue to do it. The U.S. government is putting out unidentified flying objects. And again, those are the better ways of putting it. You know, I don't think you'll ever hear the government say, hey, we're putting out video footage of aliens. They're leaving it up to you saying, look, our guys have seen shit. We don't know what it is either, you know, but it exists. The footage exists. Something is out there, but, you know, fuck, I hope if they come, they do it right. Like land somewhere cool, like downtown LA or Vegas or and make it a spectacle. So like they'll be on TV because they're going to be stars. The people who come here, if there's aliens that look like us or, you know, whatever, water breathers, and they look, you know, bizarre, they're going to be instant stars because everyone's going to want to find out who they are. And then there's going to be the other people who instantly want to kill them.
Well, if aliens came to this planet and they showed up in a place like that, wouldn't you be a little concerned?
Oh, for sure. Without a doubt. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just telling you, I think the reality of who we are as people, there's going to be those, you know, the far people who want to meet him. And then there's going to be the first people that they're going to come off. And the first thing they're going to say is they're here to conquer. We need to get rid of them. Mm-hmm. And there's someone in the government who's going to say that. First things first, we got to find out their technology, find out what we can do with it and kill all of them so we can have it for us. Yeah. You know, like any good sci-fi movie, you know, it's a very bizarre subject. I'd like to have somebody else back on who's, you know, maybe a couple of people who've had experiences because, you know, you've had a flyby experience. There's people who have said that they've been abducted. That's even a whole other level of.
Yeah, I'm so glad I just saw what I saw and not anything more.
You didn't get on the ship and have someone probe you with something?
No, but the way you say it.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's always the dudes that get probed. They're like, yeah, they stuck something up my ass. It's like,
is it always the guys?
Well, no, but it's always a good joke that, it's the guys in the middle of nowhere that are like, they were sticking things in my butthole. It's like,
you're stupid.
It's like, maybe you just drank too much and passed out and your girlfriend, put a finger in your butt.
Oh, no.
And you had a bad dream that it was an alien. And of course, the next morning she was like, you must have got abducted by aliens.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
No.
My last word is this, because we're going to gear down here to keep this show, because our last show was about an hour. I will tell you that I'm not a believer, but I'm a believer that there is probably something out there that I hope is a higher life form, because if they can travel throughout this solar system and galaxy at a high rate of speed, maybe they can get us off this rock and take us somewhere better.
You'd leave?
I mean, I wouldn't leave now, but if the turmoil of what people think this is going to happen to this planet, where global warming or whatever, although I hope they just bring the technology to fix that shit. They'll be like, hold on, everything's fixed. Cool. You guys just chill the fuck out. We're going to go back to our place. I will tell you that I think that there's a high probability that there's something out there. Just based on, there's just too many reports. There's too many people who've seen shit, and now the government pretty much telling you like there's definitely something flying out there.
But why are they telling us all of a sudden? Like, what's really going on that's coming up next?
I kind of agree with you there. I think that, when they start releasing shit,
you're ready for a shit show.
They're hiding something else.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, maybe they have the androids. Maybe a bunch of androids came here and they're like, listen to us. We're going to take over the planet. Something like crazy like that.
You waited this whole show to do that.
I set that up the whole time.
That's right. I love it.
So, I'll go on a limb and say I hope that you saw what you saw, and I'm glad it didn't take you.
Yeah, me too. I don't need to get probed by something.
No,
green.
At least not the aliens.
Something green.
But yeah, it has to be something way better than that. So what do you got to say about this podcast? Where can you see us or hear us? Not see us yet, but soon.
Yeah, thank God you can't see us, because I was not ready.
Not today.
Yeah, good.
Not to me either.
You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, Google,
Amazon,
iHeartRadio,
and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, anywhere where you can
obviously
listen to podcasts.
Yeah, and we've been having like lots of things. England is catching up. A lot of people in England. If you're listening in England, thank you very much. Share it.
Yes, thank you.
I'm very happy. And of course, India is always up there. It's great that we're in worldwide, a lot of foreign countries. We're still a couple of states short. We'll be hitting those up through our friends. You can catch us on the Instagram that I'm pretty good about updating. Facebook, I'm pretty good about updating. So just look up Don't Get This Twisted. Twitter, I'm starting to just drop the link for the current show. So you'll be seeing that on Twitter. So you can at least click on that. And we're looking for guests. We're looking for ideas for shows. Please do that. Actually, someone got a hold of me, Tina, and I think it was your friend. Let's see. I'm going to bring this up right before we go, because I thought it was quite humorous, because we were talking about it. And then someone was like, hey, you should talk about this. And I was like, hey, wait a second. That sounds familiar. I'll have to see. Maybe it's on
about
the
couples
Facebook side.
that have actually
yes. Yeah. Have good online dating experiences.
Yeah.
Yes. So they got a hold of me, so I think that we should have them on.
Let's do that.
Because we've definitely showed the darker side of online dating. maybe we should show the sunnier side. So maybe that's going to be coming up. Maybe we'll put that in the subject list.
Let's see how it goes.
Awesome. So, this is an opinion show. So don't get it twisted. Have fun. come back and listen, subscribe, follow, share, do all that fun stuff. We really appreciate it. And like everything else, we need your help, but we appreciate you listening. Anything else there, Miss Tina?
Nope. Just continue to listen, follow, and share.
Continue, follow, and share. You can't get any better than that at the end of the show.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. We will be back next Wednesday for another exciting show of Don't Get This Twisted. We love you guys. Talk to you later. Don't Get This Twisted.